Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. If you don't know me, I've been rank 1 in Wild Rift and a 5-role Sovereign all solo queue, and today we're going to be coaching an ADC player playing Xayah and Lucian. Basically, the main focus of this is going to be kind of getting advantage or taking advantage of the mid game. So this player, I typically say there's 3 main things you need to know about ADC. You need to know how to team fight, you need to know how to get gold, and you need to know how to lane. He's very, very good at getting gold. He's a challenger peak player, but he struggles a bit in lane phase, and there's some lane phase things that we talk about. And then he also struggles a bit in the mid game about really like snowballing his lead, which we kind of talk about when you don't have to feel chained to your lanes. So if you're interested in some of the more difficult things to improve on that, you know, players like a challenger ADC like himself might not be as good at, then definitely stick around for the video. The first game is in 360p because that's just the replay that he gave me. The second one's better quality if that matters to you. But either way, hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it.
This one is perfect.
This one, okay. What's your like peak rank and your current rank? I know, but
So let's say I play pretty much from the beginning. We usually go around Master, Grandmaster. Last season, because of Galio's Aegis, I finally hit Challenger, but that's
Gotcha.
I don't like take it very hard because it's not very hard right now with the Galio Aegis thing.
Okay, so Grandmaster peak, or Challenger peak rather. Words are hard, sorry. It's early in the morning.
Yeah, just once Challenger, but
yeah.
pretty much every season Grandmaster.
Gotcha.
Sure.
It's unfortunate. There's 360p. It hurts my eyes, but it's all right.
Yes.
Do you have typical questions or problems you usually have in games or anything like that?
Yeah, so basically what happens is as following. So I'm not like super bad. I don't consider myself very good as well.
Yeah.
I'm currently trying to analyze as much as possible my purely bot lane mechanics with an ADC, just to make sure that I understand everything better. So first thing, I had an issue with my laning phase. Basically, I'm trying to understand better sometimes when I need to. For example, I'm checking your videos as well. So for example, the early lane, prio, to make sure I have the prio according, but sometimes I don't take the correct decision. So sometimes I need to know when to take the prio. Sometimes I don't understand the matchup properly. So it creates a effect that I try to push, but at the same time, I don't get bullied.
That's something I see right here is like something I think is very, very important that I talk about a lot, as well as like getting prio comes before the wave gets like to your lane level 1. Like just taking a space even earlier in the lane. For example, Leona only has her 3rd ability level 1 if she wants to engage on you at all. You're not like going to get one shot by Leona. Like Lucian does okay damage, but he's not going to have his dash, so he's not going to be able to run you down. You have cleanse, so you have ways, like you're never going to die level 1. And so what you'd want to do is you want to walk up at the wave before the wave actually gets here, so you're able to auto attack it first. And again, you would stand away from the bush, like so that Leona can't just engage you for free, obviously, but you would walk up and take space because there's no real danger here. Instead, you sit under your turret, and then because of that, you're not getting on this wave first. So then the enemy get pressure, and now you're fighting them for control of the wave. Like you said, you're behind your Blitzcrank here, and then he gets to Q first. He's already hit the minion a bunch. By the time you start autoing it, you could have been autoing it way earlier, and it makes it way easier to get prio. Now, here they don't fight over it as hard as they could, so it doesn't really matter for you, but that's something that is going to matter into better players, so that makes sense?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. And then other thing is, when you do hard push a wave level 1 like this, especially when you're on this side of the map, immediately walk to their Krugs and ward their Krugs. Oftentimes, like what players like Jackie will try to do is take the small Krug, because it gets you to level 2 faster. You only could do that if you like aren't scared of the enemy pressuring you at all, but at the very least you want to ward the Krugs, because then that gives you information on like, okay, which side of the map is your jungler pathing to. I think you just have all the vision on. I don't think you'd actually normally be able to see this Vi here, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, do you have?
Yes, the full vision. So, currently I don't see it.
So you probably wouldn't know. This is obviously weird, Vi invading, not something you expect, but in a majority of situations, you ward their Krugs. If Krugs are taken, you know they're pathing away. If Krugs aren't taken, you know they're pathing towards you. So, kind of want that general information. Other than that, you are hitting for prio here, and I'm happy with that, because the longer the lane goes on, the happier I am for you. So I don't mind. Generally speaking, we don't want to word this bush that much because it doesn't actually give us very much information. Like if we think about it, this ward can be avoided very, very easily. It can be avoided if the enemy jungler ganks you through river. It can be avoided if he ganks you through lane. And it's only going to very briefly give you vision, even if he walks like this way. So it's just not the most useful ward again compared to camp ward, because he's gonna probably do his Krugs before he looks for a gank, but we don't know that he's gonna like walk in a way we're gonna find him here. So it's just gonna be better information for us early on. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand. Makes sense.
And obviously, like some games, they're pressuring you and you can't ward the Krugs, and then you would just ward in the river like normally, because then you'll see them if they gank you through the river. But yeah, other than that, you're pretty much just hitting the wave. Sometimes if you're in like if you're in a lane where you do want to make something happen, you don't have to hit quite so hard. Like I don't mind hitting hard in this case, to be clear, because it's Lucian Leona, and you're pretty happy to just
Yes,
have
yes, that's my logic here. So I know that they have a power spike at 3.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just waiting for them, trying to as fast as possible get to 3 before them. In this case, this is what's happening inside my head during the play. But the thing is, you'll see eventually in the clip that I think the early stage of the lane was done properly, in
Yeah,
my
no, I think
opinion.
so too. Again, I wanted to point this out as a general thing. I want to make sure that when you're in a lane matchup that's very winning, you're pushing this slower. You're still taking prio, but you're pushing it slower, so the enemy have to walk up and pressure you more, or rather, they have to walk up and feel pressured more. But in Lucian Leona, I 100% agree with you. I just want to make sure we're understanding that, and you're understanding that, yeah, they're going to spike really hard on 3. That's going to be Leona's strongest point in lane, I guess, apart from hitting level 5. But by the time she hits level 5, you're level 5, and then you're not scared, so...
Yeah, one more thing that I mean, it's not early, but I just got it as a question
Yeah.
for eventually, as I often find myself in a position. So, for example, a fight is happening close to me, but there is a chance that I'm afraid that I mean that could be instantly stunned and popped.
Yeah.
You'll see it eventually in the clip, I think, but just to see regarding, I don't know the problem if it's a positioning thing or just not properly understanding the champion. You'll see eventually. I'll show
So
you
you're saying where you get
during the
one
clip.
shot, basically?
No, no, not here. I mean, this case here was like a
Yeah,
mistake
you're
for
saying
the
in a different
whole trade.
situation, you're just getting one shot and
Yes.
caught. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, I guess you can kind of point it out when we see
No,
it.
actually, the case is not that I'm being one shot. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't die a lot. The thing is more like I don't actually participate in the fight. I mean, the fight is over before I actually started.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, if you said it happens in this replay, you can kind of point it out as we see that, and we can sort of talk about what leads up to that.
Okay. Okay.
Here, I just wanted to talk about just like spacing. Like again, it's just being aware of like spells that are dangerous of champions. Again, like Leona getting this close to her, she can engage on you pretty easily, which is basically what ends up happening here. Whereas like when the tanks are hitting each other, what we'd want to be doing is targeting Lucian more so. Like you can use, a couple autos to get feathers out onto the Leona, but we'd really want to be hitting that Lucian more so rather than focusing super hard on hitting that Leona like that, because that's kind of what's going to lead to some messy stuff like this. And it's not your fault that your Kha'Zix went in and died, but obviously if we were higher health and like in a better position and got Lucian lower, then it wouldn't have happened, even though again it was definitely just your Kha'Zix being dumb. So, make sense?
Yes, I understand.
And yeah, that mistake kind of leads to you getting caught by Leona and then not having your cleanser, your flash. So yeah, I mean really just the target priority onto the ADC. And I mean, keeping track of engage range, like Leona caught you a couple times, but that's obviously a mistake we all make sometimes. But yeah, we definitely want to be very aware in these lanes against champs like Leona or Nautilus. Like the only way that they're going to win lane is if you're in their engage range and they're able to find these plays on you. So really, like the main thing you should be thinking about is, am I in Leona E range? Am I in her stun range? Like just being aware of that in lane is really the main thing. But I mean, I think you understand that. It's just, it's a mistake. It happens.
Yeah, here I got caught off guard. I didn't even have time to react to when it comes to the Leona jump.
Yeah.
Good thing is that it wasn't punished, but I mean I didn't expect it out the jump from the
I think
from
that was
the
pretty
corner.
fine. I mean, that I wasn't that expected for her to be there. I mean, it's definitely a possibility people do camp on that area, but your Blitzcrank hooks the Lucian, of course you're going to follow up. Like, I don't really have any issue with that. Even if you did end up dying there, I wouldn't really even consider that a mistake. I think it was pretty reasonable. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do here. I don't know why your Blitzcrank hooked them in. It's kind of scary. It kind of worked. But yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely just say the main two issues so far are you're not super aware of like the engage ranges of these engaged champions like Leona. The target priority on again, onto the ADC rather than the tank in a majority of situations, and then getting on the wave right away level 1 rather than waiting. Again, that's kind of the main thing. I just noticed my leg is bleeding. That's completely unrelated to anything, but holy shit. That's unfortunate. I have eczema, and I've been scratching my leg a lot, and apparently it started bleeding. So completely
Yeah, that's
unrelated, but I
unfortunate.
noticed my hand was bloody and I was like, that's weird. But anyways, so again, I mean, you push, you should be fine here. You have ult and you have everything. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't really, again, I don't have an issue with this. You blitzcrank's pretty far up, and I mean, at this point, you guys are far behind. You're getting ganked like that.
Here's the part I'm explaining that basically I think this part here,
Yeah.
it's okay. Let's say survive, and from
Mhm.
here this fight exactly, I'm not 100% what I'm doing exactly. So look, everybody's low,
Yeah.
but I don't prioritize properly or something.
No, this fight's played fine. I mean, literally, like a Vi goes over the wall to kill you. You have flash, but you're patient with your flash because you know you don't need to use it right away. You bait her in, she dies, and then you're low health for the rest of the fight, so you're not gonna like 1v9 the fight. But you're still walking up into position to auto. You're aware of Syndra QE, so you don't get caught by that when you could have otherwise died. This fight was played perfectly fine. There's no issue with the fact that you didn't participate super hard. I mean, you're gonna die now. It's a little unfortunate, but I mean, maybe not even. So, like, really nothing with it. No, this fight was played well. I mean, maybe sometimes the feeling is just that you need to provide more value to your team, and you feel like you always have to be participating. But I mean, when you get engaged on that hard and something like that happens, I have no issue with, like, you were fully aware of which spells can kill you and avoiding those properly. There's really just not an issue there. And when it comes to identifying mistakes, I mean, this is obviously, you know, a bit of a mistake, but I can see it as reasonable as well because he's like 1 HP, you're trying to kill him. When it comes to identifying mistakes, though, like, it's not about the feeling like you feel like you're useless or something. It's just about looking at it more objectively. Like, what could you actually have done in that situation? There's really nothing you could have done differently, realistically, until, you know, you maybe could have not tried to kill Syndra, but I'm even fine with that. And, like, I don't have an issue with a lot of those later parts of the game. It's, again, just those earlier parts of the game that are a bigger problem for me so far. So I don't know if
Okay.
that makes sense, but
Yeah, understand. Makes sense.
okay, cool. Yeah, and I mean, at this point, like, you're kind of, I can't see the gold numbers actually, but it does look like you're like you've died multiple times. You're probably not the one who's ahead on your team. Your team's up 1,000 gold. So at this point, your goal is really just to keep cycling between lanes and getting gold. Like, here, I want you to prioritize mid turret. I don't want you to go to the fight, which you do.
Just sorry, one second. The screen is blocked. I don't see right now anything. I see that it's paused or something.
Really?
Yes, I don't see this part right now.
Range. You see it now?
It's loading currently.
Okay.
Let's
Try leaving the call and joining back.
Oh no, wait. I see it.
You see it?
Now. I
Okay.
see it. Yes.
You see the replay going?
Yes, I see it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so mid lane, right?
Yeah, all I was saying, I wanted you to go mid turret here, and you did. Like, you have good awareness of where you should be. Then you go back top side, get another top wave, getting one more, and you can, I mean, really going mid or going top turret, both are fine choices here. But yeah, I would try to get towards mid, and I think you eventually do. Yeah. I mean, this entire sequence is exactly how I would tell you to play the game. Like, I have zero issue with it. And you got a good amount of gold. So, like, even though you've died a couple times, your gold should be pretty good. Again, I still can't see the number. But, like, you're in a fine spot here. Your team is strong enough that if they go for a fight, you can take it. You just have to be aware of Leona engage, and you're aware of that. You realize you can't really go in and do much, so you go back to farming. I'm really fine with all of these things. Do you want me to edit out that pop-up or whatever?
No, yeah, it's fine. This is work related. Sorry about it. It's like
Does it matter though, or like I just want to know if you want me to edit out of the video or not?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I don't. But oh, dude, the Mordekaiser ulted him. I was like, why are you not auto attacking the 1H? Because Mordekaiser ulted and it doesn't show in the replay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, I mean, then you're hovering mid because now the objective's spawning. You probably could walk topside at this point. Realistically, there's a pretty big top wave there. I would say this should be a better, you know, use of your time, but mid prio during objective, I'm fine with you giving up a top wave. It's not like a big deal, so I don't really mind. And it looks like you probably have an item here. I'm assuming is why you recalled. Yeah, you go to Navori. I like Magnetic second because it's really easy to proc your W. So, like, if I go Magnetic second, I can just W and I get the move speed and it lets me guide people really well. Navori is fine though, because it does really well in the tanks, gives you a bunch of DPS. Like, I go Navori third usually. So that is a preference thing. If you want to still do Navori second, it's fine. But I do like being able to proc my W. And the range obviously helps as well. But that's definitely a preference thing. As you approach this fight, it's pretty much just about hitting front and getting feathers out. Nothing too complicated, and you play it fine. Because like this game, you don't really have insane target priority on anyone. It's just kind of about stacking up your lethal tempo on the tanks and just literally hitting what's in front of you, and that's what you do. Like there's nothing too complicated. I really don't see a lot of mistakes so far from this game. Like it's mostly played well. Again, like we talked about the few small things, but definitely that. I'd push a wave, then I'd reset and go bot. Like these times when you want to go to the other side of the map anyway, there's no reason not to reset because you get to spend like 500. Like you won this fight, you got probably 500-600 gold from it. Just reset, spend your gold, and then walk there anyway. Like you could grab a Gale Force, for example, and then you just walk through bot. It's not any faster or slower than going the mid, or walking straight like to Baron, so small thing, but it could be useful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would walk straight through mid here because your goal is to push with Baron, but you're basically aware of that. Yeah, 1, 2, and 6 there you show. So 9,600 gold in 13 minutes with how the early game went. Again, I do think a lot of your mistakes are the early game. Like your macro so far has basically just been what you should be doing, and you're playing the fights properly. These are really easy fights to play because it's like just hit frontline type of fight. These are like, this is what Josiah wants more than anything. I would probably continue pushing mid. I don't really like going so hard with our team here. Yeah, I think with our Baron, I don't really think we need to be... Like you could invade this. I don't absolutely hate it, but I don't like how much we're focused on this rather than getting on the wave right away and having push. Just feels like it kind of doesn't do anything for us. When we have Baron, we'd rather have multiple lanes. But like, you don't really want to be playing on one lane when you have Baron. Usually not the most effective. So yeah, I mean, I would prefer that to be different, but...
Oh, here we made a very stupid play, basically. I remember we followed the Morgana here.
And this is the thing, like, I'm not... your teammates obviously did some dumb shit there, but like, I don't want you following to these random fights while we have Baron, because our goal with Baron is to get lanes pushed, get pressure, not to go and fight a 5v5 on their side of the map, where if we chase them, we're going into their turret, and it's really easy for them to catch us in those types of choke points. Like, that's how we're going to throw games. So definitely the Baron usage is a bit of a problem. Like, even the fact that you were taking that blue again, like, I'd rather you're on the wave right away. Taking the blue wasn't the end of the world, but then the fact that you follow after, not great. And then here, you need to be absolutely spam pinging Baron. I can't see the time. Yeah, the Baron spawns 4 seconds after. Maybe it's 6 seconds. I don't know if that's 26 or 28. But Baron spawns 4 or 6 seconds after Dragon. And each team has...
Just 1 second. Sorry. Just 1 second, because the screen again is loading and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be like Wi-Fi or like lag.
Yeah, just need some time to reload again.
Just let me know when it's good.
I'm currently stopped on the... when I died with the team follow-up, basically. That was the last time I saw. Oh, sorry. It's still loading. Can you again refresh the page?
Yeah. I guess it's probably because you're Europe, right?
Yes, exactly.
Where in Europe are you from?
Bulgaria.
Oh, okay. I have no idea about geography, so I don't know how far away that is, but it's definitely very far from the United States, so it makes sense.
It's a lot. It's 8-hour difference, so it's pretty big.
Do you see it now or no?
Yes, I see it now. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. But either way, what I was saying is you each have a dragon. I want you prioritizing the Baron really hard. I want you spam pinging it. I think I see someone pinging it. Maybe it's you. Hopefully it is. But yeah, just basically go and do the Baron here. If you're, if the enemy aren't... Yeah, you have a Kha'Zix. This is maybe a little risky, but I think you have the time to do it, and I'm pretty fine with these types of plays. So, yeah, I mean, you did exactly what I would have told you to do. Honestly, so far, I've seen you do a lot of things that I would tell you to do. I don't really see, like, a huge amount of mistakes again. It's really just a lot of these, like, positioning and fights getting caught early on in the lane, especially I would say the lane phase by far was the biggest problem. And then the Baron usage, that's going to lead to some throws if we're consistently kind of chasing fights. But other than that, definitely good gameplay overall. Unfortunately, the fight doesn't go perfectly. Why'd she stasis? That was strange, but yeah. The fight, you played this well. Like, I don't have an issue with it. And the outcome isn't good. But there really isn't an issue with how it was played. So, you know, I haven't been able to tell you the most things, but you have just played this game well so far. Yeah, again, like, this is your positioning thing, though, then, is like, why do we take this fight? Also, you stand still when you auto a lot. Like, I guess you're kind of just stuck on a wall here, but there was a time before where I noticed you're, like, standing still when you're autoing. Like, that's just, like, a small mechanical thing to get more used to doing properly, but either way, again, like, the fact that we're following this fight and then we're not aware of the, like, who can engage on us in this fight, and we just kind of walk up and we just stay still, like, rather than, like, kiting back or kiting into here a lot more, we kind of just kite straight into a wall, and then it's pretty easy for Leon to engage on us. It's a little hard, but I do think we could have had better awareness of that overall. So either way,
I agree.
not a huge thing either. I would say, yeah. I mean, the thing about the ADC role is there's basically 3 things you need to know how to do. You need to know how to lane well, you need to know how to get gold, and you need to know how to team fight. You don't know how to lane well. Your team fighting is mostly fine, and you're very good at getting gold. Like, that is by far your best thing, is that you're actually where you should be on the map almost always, apart from really that Baron play. But your laning phase is what needs by far the most work, so I would definitely focus on that pretty heavily. And yeah, I mean, again, there's the times where sometimes you lose track of the champs who can go on you in fights. Here, you're doing a good job of just realizing that you can't really go forward. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to ask here if should I actually go forward or no.
No, I mean, like, there's
my
like
opinion-
4 people. You can't really walk forward.
Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you have to fight Elder kind of without a teammate here, which is a little rough. But I guess your Kha'Zix's got to kill him, so. Is their jungler dead? No, their jungler is alive. I don't know why exactly we decided to flip it if their jungler's alive. Because we're in a spot
no,
where we... What's up?
No, regarding this play, it was pure flip, to be honest. I remember this play because the Kazakhs was spamming it a lot, but
Yeah, and there was no
the
reason
only reason
for you to do this. Like, you guys were in a good position to play the fight. You know, like, you just kite it out, like, tell them to retreat, don't hit it, and encourage them. And then if he keeps hitting it, even after you don't hit it, and it gets, like, 4k, then put your feathers out to try to smite it. But, like, you don't need to be hitting it right now, because you're most of the DPS. I mean, Kha'Zix does a lot of it, too, but, like, you're the one doing all this damage here. You'd rather we're not having a random flip, and instead just, like, try to have a fight occur. And then, if your teammates hit it anyways, when it's at, like, 4k, then you just start hitting it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Your Kha'Zix, I mean, he hit the smite though, so like he's the GOAT, but obviously it's again just.
Yeah, I had a huge hope in Kazakhs, to be honest. This game he was basically the better jungler for sure. So
yeah, I mean, definitely, and again, it's just like you guys were in a good position, which is why we didn't need to flip. Like, say you were down 3k gold there and the fights were all going super bad, then like I'd be happy with you flipping, but it's just that wasn't the case there. But other than that, again, I mean, you're mostly doing what you should be doing. I guess you kind of panic cleanse, but I think that's fine, even though obviously probably didn't need to. And the reason you didn't need to is because you have flash and ult, so like you could be baiting and engage. Like, for example, even if Leona landed her E on you, you'd kind of be happy about that, and then you'd cleanse like the E afterwards. Because a lot of times that's how you can bait and engage, just like holding that cleanse for a proper moment. But I'm fine with like wanting to be a bit on the safer side. But if you were asking yourself, like, okay, who's going to engage on me from the longest range? It's going to be Leona, it's going to be Mbessa. And so then you're like, oh, how do I want to react to that? Well, Leona ults, you wait until she actually looks to engage on you. Yeah, now that you did
actually
this,
learn.
I'm not going to
Now
like
I learned that I can. Yeah, sorry about it. Now I learned
I don't care. It's just
possible to do it. You know?
It's not a big deal, but yeah. I don't like seeing the screen so zoomed out because I like seeing how you would like see it in the game, basically. But I don't mind. Not really a big deal. And again, I mean, you're pretty much just stalling until objectives. Like, I'm assuming not much happens until the objectives on, and I don't really see what else. I mean, I want you to be on mid. I think a lot of times when these, like when you're pushing with Baron or when there's these random situations around river and objectives, you're always kind of hovering the river first. And I want you to be getting the mid wave and using mid wave to go into river. Like, I know you push this mid wave, but then you see this one's here. I don't know if it's this one. It's probably the next one. But like, you leave, you go here, and then I'm fine with you if you want to go to get vision or whatever, but by the time the wave's getting back, you need to immediately be on that, the same way I want you to immediately be on the other wave. But instead, you auto-attack Leona twice. and you root her. Like, that doesn't do anything for you, and it makes it possible to get caught. Like, this is a place where you could always get caught over the wall by someone. You never really know. And getting mid control is just way more important. Luckily, your team's on it, so it's not like it matters, but I want you to be aware of that. So.
Okay.
Like, even here, like, I want you to be on this wave. Like, your Xayah with Flash Ult and Cleanse, you can be on, like, here. You know, like, you can stand here. Like, you don't have to stand super, super far away in this bush with your teammate. Just get on the wave immediately. And you get on it at a decent time. It's not like, you know, it's a smaller thing, but it is, again, something that I think is important to note. And then, yeah, you don't want to be flipping this. So, like, even here, you don't have to immediately walk into the dragon. This is a very common thing that people think they have to do, like the dragon spawn. Like, no, you can continue to take control of mid and of this bush. So when Leona walks forward, like, for example, if the enemy can't just go and 5-man this Elder if you're pushing that mid wave, because then the mid wave is, you know, you'll end the game, right? Like, so what I want you doing is I want you to continue to take control of this, let your team come into you. And again, you have ways to kite. Like, you're never going to die. You have Gale Force too. Like, there's no way you're going to die here. Also, I really wouldn't go 5 crit items. I know that they changed it, so Infinity Edge is not as bad with, you know, over crit or whatever. But like 4 items Xayah does more than enough damage. Having some level of defensiveness, so that if you make a mistake, is important. Like, I would go GA here, and you can go Ma or Wits End even if you need MR. But again, you see how you're just ending up sitting here, and you're not really that useful here. I know you're just trying to get the Elder, but like, it's not really what we want when we're ahead. Because again, when we're ahead, we don't want to give, like, basically what you gave the enemy was a brief moment of like a 5v3, which means if they win that 5v3, the fact that you get Elder can potentially not matter. When if you play the fight out, you're just going to win every time for the most part. Does that make sense?
Yes, that actually makes sense a lot.
And so, yeah, I mean, in the mid game, really your issue is kind of with the Baron again, getting the lanes pushed, getting on the waves right away, controlling mid wave and using mid wave control to go into objectives, and not flipping or playing the game like you're behind. Like, again, all of these actions you took were good if you were down 3k gold this game as a team, but that wasn't the case in this game, and so it wasn't as useful. Luckily, you know, you guys were ahead and Kha'Zix played well, and you played overall well, just again those mistakes, and so you still win. Not the end of the world or anything, but yeah. Any questions on that game? I know it's not like the most information ever, but
no, actually it makes sense, because usually I struggle with those. I want to understand where the drop happens. So early game, I know that sometimes laning phase especially, I drop. After that mid game, gold wise, I know that I always try to have like a very high GPM, so in order to sustain. Sometimes I notice the issue with the positioning, that I'm getting caught. A very very stupid situation yesterday. I lost a super bad game like this, and sometimes, for example, with this game, I actually have a lead at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then I somehow drop it. I don't understand. During this game, there is a period that I actually in a very good spot. Then I drop it, and then I have to chase back. We win again. It's lucky that our team is pretty decent this game. Bart is not, but overall, it was. I didn't under. I didn't. I think I could have impacted a lot more the game rather than just, especially with Lucian specifically in this case.
Gotcha. Yeah. Again, the word thing is like, I want you when you have prio level 1 to be trying to find the word. So like, you push this wave, and if you don't push the wave really fast, it's fine. You can stay in lane, but look how, you know, you have like 10 seconds till the next wave comes. Go in at least ward river, if not ward blue. Because like, what are you really gonna? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
This in this case, so first, when you get the first wave, get the prio, where should be, especially when I'm this side of the map, where should I put the ward exactly?
So there's two places to put the ward. If you have more time, like as in the waves push pretty quickly and you're not, you know, you don't need to get back to lane immediately, ward the blue buff. Basically, an ideal ward is always a camp, because that gives you information on jungle pathing. But if you're in a situation where like you can only leave for like 3 seconds because the next wave's about to come, then you can ward right where their ward is, or just slightly further up in river, like here. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Okay. And then the last other thing is, if you are getting pushed back in lane, then you can just ward this tri-bush, because like you don't have the ability to walk out further, like if you're really getting fucked in lane. Because the only time that you're going to get ganked if you're getting pushed back that far is if you're getting dove, so they'll probably come from here, or you'll see them come through like pretty easily. So, but that's obviously only really when you're super behind. So, and then even like the fact that you didn't get that XP. Oh, bro.
It will fix it. It will come back again.
You do? Okay. I had one time where someone like
No,
never
it's
fixed it.
gonna.
Yeah.
It was fixed in, I think, in a couple of seconds. I was moving during this time. I remember.
Okay. Yeah,
Give
I mean, I
me
can still see what's
10 more
happening though. It's
seconds.
upside down. It's kind of
Yes.
tripping me out a little bit. Okay, there we go.
Alright.
But yeah, what I was saying was I wanted you to be on that ward with your bard to get the XP from it to get level 2 quicker. But you weren't really. So that's the first thing is like, because when you're playing this lane, you're not really like a poke lane. I mean, you can get some poke as Lucian dash or like bard if he gets a stun, but your goal is to find these like all in, so you don't have to just be sitting. Like you're not Caitlyn, where after you push the people under the turret, you start poking them under the turret, or Ezreal or whatever. You're Lucian, so your time to fight is a lot of times in the wave when the enemy are walking forward. So that means when you push the wave quickly, you can go do other stuff with your time. You can go ward, you can go take their wards, like that type of thing. And then this would be the type of lane matchup where you would do what I was saying in the first game, where when you get to like this wave, you're only pushing slightly faster than the enemy, and you're actually wanting them to start fighting you on the wave, because this is like a good, a good wave to fight on. The only problem is your jungle's not pathing towards you, which is why if we had that blue buff information, then we would know we don't actually want to be that aggressive here because the jungler's coming. Whereas I don't think you know where the jungler is right now. So the fact that our jungler is away is again like a deterrent for really making aggressive plays. But if both junglers weren't here, then you would continue to be aggressive, which is why that, that level 1 information, like essentially I want you to think of your level 1 as, yes, you can get poke if the enemy give you the opportunity to get poke, but your level 1 is really to get prio and vision. Level 2, again, you're kind of just playing for prio in a lot of lanes, and then it's like level 3 / like that wave right before level 3 that you're looking to do a bit more on potentially. But I mean, your bard roams here, so nothing really to do here.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
Basically, I see that I'm struggling with when it comes to this happens in Champion Select, specifically when and what to pick. I'm still like, in specifically when I get to higher elo, sometimes I mispick. I see the support, for example, from my end. I usually try to mix it with our support to make a good, uh, just a good comp with the support to play around him. But I really often just don't pick the correct AD carry, I think, in
What
my opinion.
ADCs do you play?
Pretty much, my pool is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I can play most of them. I struggle probably with Kalista and Zeri. Those are the two I cannot play good. Most
So
of
do
them,
you
the other
play a
guys,
lot
I
of
have.
different champions?
I try to keep the champion pool. Like for example, this season I played around I think 6 carries, maximum 7, but the majority are 4. So currently I spam a lot of Zaya, Lucian, Ezreal, Caitlyn, and I think Jhin. So 5. Sorry about it. So 5 I play
Okay.
a lot. Everything else is just side.
So Lucian, obviously we have an aggressive support. Either you have like a good engaged support, or you have like a Nami, and the enemy are a lane that don't have high range. Because Lucian struggles mostly into high range. He's really good into lower range champs who aren't very good early game, where he can like hard pressure them, or he's good with his certain combos like Nami, Nautilus, Fresh, like just hard aggressive early game champs. So if they lock in a Tristana, they lock in a Vayne, they lock in Kaisa, you're really going to like playing Lucian because your early game's going to be super easy if you also have one of those supports. Xayah, I think it's pretty straightforward when you play Xayah, right? They have a bunch of engage and dive. What are the other ones? You said Caitlyn, Jhin.
Yeah, Caitlyn, Jhin, and Ezreal.
Yeah, so Ezreal, poke lane. We have a Karma. You can play it with a Nami if you want. Basically a poke lane. So I don't really like playing poke as much into healing. I like playing poke a lot more into shielding or tanks, because into healing they can obviously heal up your poke. So if they have a Soraka, they have a Nami, that type of thing, I don't like playing it. And you also want your support to be someone who can probably poke, but Ezreal can kind of play with almost whatever except like a Lulu or Emilio. I'm just going through this. I can write this down for you at the end if you want, but
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. If at the end, if you can send down some, write down some potential combinations, it would be perfect.
Yeah. And so the other two, like, I don't think you should have 5. I think Jhin and Lucian do very similar things. I know they're not like the same champion, but in the sense that Lucian and Jhin like pairing with champions who can make plays for them, apart from the fact that Lucian works well with like Nami and Melio, but generally, well, Jhin works well with Melio too, but they both do very similar things. They're like good early game. They're good at getting pressure early game. Jhin early game is more about getting wave control. He's very good at getting prio, whereas Lucian can actually kill in lane more often, but they do very similar things. Caitlyn and Ezreal, they're both long range lane bullies. they also do the same thing. I don't really see a real reason that you need to be playing Lucian and Jhin, and I don't see a reason you need to be playing Ezreal and Caitlyn. Like, not that they're not different. Like, obviously, if this was pro play and, you know, you're fucking Gumayushi, like, yes, there's going to be different times where we're going to want you to play Ezreal versus Caitlyn. But the reality is, I think you being better at one or the other, whichever you are better at, it makes more sense to play that one in all of the situations if the goal is purely to climb. If you just want to have fun, you know, like, you can play more. But I would recommend it becomes 3 and it becomes Xayah, and then Lucian or Jhin, and then, yeah, Ezreal or
Okay,
Caitlyn.
okay, makes sense. One of the things with Caitlyn that I've noticed is, for example, Caitlyn, the issue is that you definitely need to snowball. Otherwise, I feel like very weak with it. For example, with Ezreal, I could play more safe
Yeah.
with her, with him, and then scale up. While with Caitlyn, it's if I fall behind, I'm basically useless.
No,
That's
I
the only
agree, and I
reason
do
why
think
sometimes.
Ezreal is better overall. So I agree with that. And if that's an issue you have that you don't feel like you can get over, or like, you know, whatever, I think that's useful. Or like a good reason to do Ezreal. I wasn't really focused on this that much because we were gonna. So you go for this trade. You don't know where enemy jungler is. I guess the problem is you kind of. I mean, it's a little hindsight because you don't necessarily have vision. No, you want to recall here, so you should be pushing. So unfortunately, you get on that exact wave. Um, you probably didn't need a flash, but I can see why you did. No, but I
Yeah, I
was
thought
thinking
like
like,
Vice 5.
yeah, Vi is 5, but you have cleanse, which is why I was saying I don't think you actually needed to, but you might have just wanted to be safe, so I don't mind. Like I said, it's like I think she was like barely out of range, but like I said, I'm completely fine with you flashing there to be safe. Um, but yeah, what I was thinking is maybe because when you were on this wave, and I'll just go back to it so I can explain, because this is a situation sometimes you'll find yourself in. So this wave here, like it was gonna push into you, like there's a lot of minions, and when we're in this situation and you get like Soraka 1 HP, a lot of times you can create all-ins, but here again you want to recall because of boots. But I just do want you to be aware of the fact, because you, and this is what I do usually because it's really good, especially with solo. Are you usually playing solo queue, by the way?
Yes, yes, mainly
Yeah.
so cute.
So with solo queue supports, pushing the wave is a lot more effective. Like when you're playing duo queue with someone who's really good, a lot of times you can actually manage your wave like you would manage it in a solo lane, where sometimes you can create all-ins and like freeze on them at certain times if you're in the advantage, but generally speaking, your supports will fuck it up in solo queue. So most of the time, just pushing hard is fine. But this situation, say you were in a really, really advantageous spot, I would actually want you to not hit the wave, because every time the enemy walks up, you're just going to win the trade because you're stronger. But again, not in this case. I want to point that out as a general thing. But yeah, I mean, this lane phase overall is played fine. You targeted Soraka at the proper moments. You had push. Your jungler wasn't really here early, and Vi was, so you were a little safer. I'm fine with all of that. And yeah, you use your early push to get something. You don't get much done, but you don't really have that much to do, because you do know their jungler is not going to be here for a while since he was here. So I mean, I would even just like try to get in the bush, for example, just try to get something, do some poke on them, but it's not a big thing. And I don't like your target priority. I would rather target Soraka there. Because yeah, she is the champion who we want to be trying to kill, because Soraka can heal her ADC. So other than that, it's played pretty fine. I guess Soraka, she get even lower? No, she was always that low. Yeah, and I'm assuming this is where you get ahead. Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, like I don't see a lot of mistakes. I mean, you probably didn't need to dash forward there, because your goal is just to get the wave pushed rather than take a risky dash forward. Pretty small thing.
So here I have a lead. Basically, what happens is right now I have a lead,
Yeah.
and eventually allowed to basically Ash to catch up to me. I don't know where I lose the tempo. I just need to find it. I was the replay. I didn't find where I actually lost the tempo.
Yeah.
And after that, I had to come back. It wasn't like a big fall, but it's still I had the lead. I don't know why I dropped it and how it happened.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing is you tried trading 1v2, which doesn't do anything because they have healing and your port's literally not there because he was dead. I don't like that you were doing that, but that didn't like lead to anything super negative, but it's still something that you did that we need to be aware of. Other than that, I mean, you don't really have anything, like, we'll see when it is that the lead kind of goes away, but here you should probably be, I don't know how much gold you have, but we want to be looking for a reset. So you probably need this wave to get Essence Reaver or whatever. Your teammate's roaming, so you're kind of just letting them push. I'm fine with that. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of your teammates are dead here. So there's not a lot you can do. I guess, yeah, you could probably have been looking for that all in slightly quicker, but like our teammate was coming back and you weren't aware quite as quick as you could have been. You kind of like,
Yes, I missed this one.
yeah. So I mean, paying attention to that obviously, but that's a super obvious thing. There's not a lot more to say there. A lot of times you do kind of walk forward on low health, like I mean, this didn't really make that much sense. Like, you're already 1 HP, your goal is just to get out, and it's kind of the same even before, like, you, I don't know why my mind is blanking, but like, when your support wasn't here, and it was a 1v2, you walked up and you traded, and it's not like you were gonna die to the Ashe, but you just took an unnecessary trade, got a little lower health, and then here again, like, if we actually look at them, you have Bard, who's low HP, and you have Galio. They're not gonna ever actually kill this guy. And, you know, it's entirely possible that mid's coming. And then you walk forward just because, like, he's stunned, so you felt like you need to attack him. I mean, this is where a lot of your lead is going to go. And I think there's just a lot of times where I see you fight unnecessarily. Like this, like, we don't have any reason to fight. Or, again, the trading with your support. A lot of those situations are, like, kind of the biggest mistakes. And then this is exactly probably where the game goes. Like, maybe the fight ends up being fine, but this is the type of situation where a lot of ADCs make the wrong play. It's like, okay, we were in a fine spot, one thing goes wrong, we come back, and then we die again, and then immediately, like, it's kind of bad. So you're down 3k gold here. Waves are pushing mid. You could go topside after pushing mid. You could take your jungler's camps topside. You could be getting a bunch of gold. Instead, you decide to go to a fight over a dragon that doesn't matter when you're not that strong right now and your team is not that strong right now. So what I'd want you to do here is basically, as you come out of base, like, your Yasuo's already on your wave. Why would you walk here? You know, like, go mid. Go push mid, get mid wave, and then go into topside. You don't have to be stuck to duo lane as the ADC. I think that's kind of like a very, very big problem that a lot of ADCs have. Like, I can see you play the game how you're supposed to play it for the most part. You don't make a lot of silly mistakes, but you never really are finding these like moments as well to kind of break open the game. And this would be one where you can push mid wave and then you go topside. You can probably kill Swain and possibly get turret. Instead, you're taking a fight down 3k gold and you dashed over the wall. So you put yourself in an absolutely awful position here. Which ends up being fine, but is, you know, greedy a bit. And this doesn't really do anything. Like, even if you got this dragon, you could be doing so much more with your time going through mid and then into top. And you can see how Swain's fighting. Like, you would be killing that Swain, you'd be getting a top wave, and then you'd be possibly pushing a turret. Instead, you're just continuing to fight straight in lane. And again, like, a thing I was just talking about in my my video about playing from ahead and playing from behind is, like, when you're behind, you don't want to keep doing whatever's been happening. Like, it's a very obvious thing, but we were behind, so clearly whatever we're doing is keeping us behind, which usually is like fighting all the objectives at the normal time, pushing our waves and just being like 4v4 lane in 1v1 or you know, having normal lane assignments. So what you want to do in these types of games a lot of times is, like, again, you find a time to go topside where you can get a bunch of gold, and then sometimes because you have an extra number there, you get a kill, and you get a turret out of it, you get a bunch out of it. Whereas here, you're just continuing to fight over and over again against an enemy who is stronger than you. And yes, maybe sometimes you'll get kills on them, but it's not like this is something we should necessarily expect. And again, a lot of times your teammates are covering your bot wave, where mid wave and top wave are pushing right now into you guys, and all of you are bot side, just kind of sitting here. And even if you get a kill, it doesn't matter for the game. Does that make sense? Or
Yes, I understand. Makes sense.
okay. And then, yeah, like, I mean, this is basically what we just see happening. Like, your entire game has been spent bot side for 8 minutes. Lucian especially, and Caitlyn as well, because you play Caitlyn, but early game champions, they need to do this very well, like this moving into another part of the map and using their early game pressure, because I'm sure you've had a lot of games where you can't actually kill people on Lucian, but you almost always have prio on him. And in those types of games, you need to use the fact that you're going to get on the wave first to then move somewhere else and go to other parts of the map. But again, you're just completely tied to bot side. And I'm fine with you going bot side here, push this bot wave, but then immediately go mid after. And here, again, like you go back to bot. Like you're never touching mid or top or anywhere. And you're just sitting here. And it's just like it. And now you're turret diving, which is not the end of the world because your teammate came and ganked for you. But like you're turret diving in an even game, and I don't think we have that much information at this point. Our teammate just ends up setting up to play, but like their Vi is here, for example. It's entirely realistic she could respond, and for some reason Soraka's sitting under turret by herself. Like this doesn't make sense, and so I'm fine with you taking advantage of it. You know, I'm not saying this is a bad play. What I'm saying is,
well, exactly. I was thinking of so basically, if you return 10 seconds
yeah,
behind, it's basically a little bit back more. So it's here. So while the recall is coming, I'm thinking, okay, so is she either really bad staying here or Ash or Vice coming? So
yeah.
that's my logic when it comes to this. So I
No,
see she stops the recall after that, and then we follow up the play. This was
and you
like
follow
actually I
your
knew
team,
that
and I'm fine with
going.
that. Again, I think this is fine. Like this sequence here is fine. The problem is that you're here. Like you've been here for so long. Like I think that it was
Yes, I
from
understand this part. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
Makes sense.
I
Makes
know.
sense. I
But yeah,
agree.
no, the like following here, once you're here, it's fine. You know, you're not just gonna leave randomly once you're here and your teammate's setting up a dive for you. Totally fine with that. But yeah, again, the problem is the fact that we're here for multiple minutes on end, and again, we're pretty much just relying on the fact that despite being behind in gold and getting outscaled, we're gonna somehow just, you know, Soraka's gonna randomly kill herself in her turret, and luckily she does, but not gonna happen the most often. And then the fact that the enemy are dead here means you should be pushing bot. Like two people are top, this person's mid, you know where everyone is, and Soraka's responding. She's not gonna like, she's Soraka. So go and push the bot wave, take more out of this. Don't reset and then walk top side. Like this doesn't really do anything for us. Again, like your teammates are going to be killing that anyway. But what's up?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick question. So basically, no, I have this. I've noticed this regarding my playlist. I want to ask how to proceed when this comes. So, for example, if I decide to switch, so let's say I push, or even if I destroy the first turret, I start to go mid, for example, just to switch the
Yeah.
lane and to apply the prio. But I've noticed a lot of cases where my teammates also stuck with me, like they just stay all with me at the same time. So my
Yeah.
logic, I don't know if this is the correct one, is just to split away so I can start getting gold solo and solo experience. But
Mm-hmm.
probably, from what I understand from your explanation right now, is that sometimes I need to just go with, for example, soul laner together to push rather than
So
take solo.
you're right about not wanting to share, but so there's a difference between just like being in a lane and we just constantly share this and we're bleeding out on sides, and using the fact that we've pushed sides to then go and share with our teammate. Because like let's say you get half of the gold. Let's say you get 200 gold from a wave. Say you get half of the golden XP from the wave, so you get 100 and he gets 100. But then you got 200 gold from a side wave and you push the side wave out, so you're not losing anything on side. Then you get 300 gold and he gets 100, which is better than you both getting 200 because you're playing solo queue and trying to carry, and you're ADC, so it's good anyway. So the point is, like, you have to first push your wave, and then you can make the play. So it's like, if we'll go all the way back to kind of the situation where I was telling you I want you to start doing that, like, was it here? Yeah, it's like, you've already pushed your wave, your teammate's covering it here, reset and go get one of these, you know, like, other waves then, because there's already a wave pushing. But then, eventually, I don't know if it was before this or after this, but eventually you reset and then you come back to bot here. Obviously, I'm fine with you coming bot here because you get this wave, and then you also know that to get the next wave because you're a good player. But the problem is, why are you here after? You know what I mean? Like, now we can go mid,
Yes,
now
yeah,
we can go
I
top.
understand.
Yeah.
Yes,
So that's
okay.
what I mean. Like, it's okay to be sharing with your teammates after you've already pushed bot. The problem is, yeah, like you don't want to be sharing with them if you haven't done all this already. But again, you're getting the push and then you're staying after the push, and then that's where the issue is coming in. And then yeah, you could have stayed for one more wave there, but it's not the end of the world because I do understand wanting to be ready for Baron in time, so it's not something I'm going to be like overly picky about. And you know, this does work out well, so. And yeah, you push mid immediately. I would push mid and then reset and go top side because that's an easy turret to take. You didn't really need all of this. It doesn't help your wave clear that much if you're able to auto. Like, alt wave clear is good for when when you're just like not in range. It's not that much faster than just using all your abilities. But again, we need to reset and go top here. Which you eventually do? You do. I think it could have been like 5 seconds faster, but that's a very nitpicky thing. You do what you should do here. And yeah, I mean, you played this well.
Oh, here was a stupid play by me. So basically, I know Vi is there. I
Yeah.
could have stopped here, but I overplayed this one. I remember that this was like
Yeah.
it was pure bait from her end.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, you're aware of that. So there's nothing really to say. It happens. I'm completely happy with the amount of value you got from that play. You were using your Baron perfectly. You push mid. You saw a play to quickly go bot side. You reset. You go top side. You get gold there. Yeah, obviously you shouldn't have gone on the Vi after. That's very straightforward. And here I would just push out bot. Like there's a bot wave pushing, and your teammates are like fighting so far that by the time you get there, you're not going to have that much of an impact. And it doesn't matter because Baron's dead. So like if they die, it's not like you lose the game or something. So I would have pushed out bot first. You shouldn't, yeah, like now you're gonna come late and like maybe you'll be able to clean up or something, but it's not really that Aurora is being annoying. But again, like I don't care about these random fights. Like your presence there didn't really do anything. Like yes, one more person died. You do end up getting the inhib out of it, but this isn't something we should actually expect to be doing. Again, we push out the bot first, then we can come here and do the same thing. There's no real reason to come here immediately into like a fight where you're gonna be super, super late and it's basically gonna be decided before you get there. But the outcome is good, so, you know, the outcome is good there. Also, what are you building? I just want to see. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would build. I might get QSS because they have Vi and Ashe. I mean, you have Cleanse, so you don't have to, but probably a little bit better.
Yeah, I've noticed sometimes that I really delay my trinket, and I don't know why.
You delay
When
your
is the
trinket?
proper time?
You mean enchant?
Yeah,
Or
basically, yeah, the enchant. Sorry about it.
yeah,
Yeah, so I
trinkets
delay
are
the
wards,
enchant.
yeah. But yeah,
This is
the enchant I usually would get after third item. I mean, that's just the typical timer. There's no like set rule, but usually after third item is when I'd want to buy it most of the time.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, I'm assuming we had vision of Vi here.
Since we saw,
yeah.
she went through the portal.
The portal,
That's why
okay,
it
yeah.
was,
I don't know why she keeps doing these weird, like she's trolling, but you guys are already ahead a lot. It doesn't really matter. And I mean, everything's gonna be straightforward from here. I don't really think there's gonna be anything to.
Yeah, that's it. That's the game. Basically.
Okay, I'm gonna write notes for you. You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. What are we? Lucian, Zaya. Okay. So first thing, just going back to the. Also, by the way, as I'm writing the notes out, if anything I say doesn't make sense to you, like wording wise, or you don't understand it, or anything, or you remember something else we talked about, just interrupt me at any point, because obviously the point of the notes is for them to be useful to you. I'll send them to you after.
Okay.
But first thing, so we'll go back to the Zaya game, like level 1. Just basically get on wave as early as possible. Because again, you're kind of waiting until it actually comes and meets at the midpoint, and by that point, the enemy already had prio. They gave it up because they're dumb, but again, if it's like a good player, they're not going to be doing something like that. So we have to be on the wave a bit earlier, then use level 1 push for a ward on a camp. So it'd usually be a blue buff if you're on that side. It'd be a Krug if you're on the other side. Early game, then just like be aware of engage range. Very simple thing, but a lot of times you are getting caught like that Leona, and then target the ADC if enemy has tank sup. Obviously, there's times where you have to just hit the tank because he's in front of you and he's the easiest to hit, but a lot of times we want to be aware of that. Again, you kind of had that issue that one time. And the opposite for like targeting Soraka. You should have targeted you mostly targeted Soraka. You didn't do like a bad job of it, but there are a couple times where you had the choice between Ashe and Soraka, and you hit Ashe, and Ashe also had bone plating. It didn't do as much to her. Then just like do not go forward at random times when ADC or when support is not there and enemy of healing. Like you walked up and you traded 1v2 versus Ashe and Soraka. You both got one auto attack off, or maybe you got two because you dashed or whatever, but Ashe just got healed, right? Like it didn't do anything, and your support wasn't there, so the only positive possible outcome was either a neutral outcome, which is what happened, or a negative outcome where you take a big trade loss, because they could have really punished you if they wanted. So we have to be more aware of like times where it doesn't make sense to fight. Other than that, you're very good at getting gold. The Xayah game, the only other real thing was just like spell tracking, which I pretty much always talk about at this point. But like there were a couple times where like Leona was able to engage on you where you stood still when auto attacking, you weren't fully aware of who can hit you. Then the other thing for the Xayah game was Baron usage. So like with Baron, do not 5-man side lane, get lanes pushed first. A lot of times, again, like where you're kind of just like, even the Lucian game at the very end there, like the fact that you're not pushing out the lane then going, and that you just instantly go. I mean, you didn't have Baron at that point, but that was right after your Baron expired. And the Xayah game where you went to that 5-man, you guys dove even deeper in their turret. Again, just get the lanes pushed out. Understand the purpose of the Baron is to get sides pushed, to get turrets, not to go and win a fight. Because if you were winning a fight when you're ahead, say you get 500-600 gold from it, maybe, you would get that from a turret and the waves you're getting anyways, and it's less risky. Obviously, there's no chance of you really throwing like that. I mean, you could get caught, but it's a lot easier to not get caught if you're kind of just pushing out all the different waves. And even if someone gets caught on a different side, you have the waves pushing. I think you get that, though. Do you have questions about anything so far? Or?
No, clear.
Okay. So then, that was a lot of the stuff from the Xayah game. The Lucian game, your early game, mostly fine. I think we could have been a bit more aware of jungle if we got that ward off level, after the level 1. But other than that, I mean, yeah, you played the lane mostly how you should. I don't know why my mind's blinking. Take a sip of water 1 sec. I'm not very good in the mornings, apparently, my mind. But do you remember anything we've talked about? No, my brain's blanking a bit.
Yeah, the main thing with the Lucian game was when I fell behind, basically, that I stayed at bot all the time rather than.
Yeah, right. So yeah, basically, especially on early game champs, after pushing out waves, start going to other lanes. And your goal when you go to these other lanes is not to stay there. It's literally like, oh, I have 10 seconds between when I get like when the next bot wave comes and the mid wave's already there. I'm just going to go walk mid, get the mid wave, maybe stay mid longer if my teammate covers, and then go back to bot if my teammate's not covering or whatever. Like, you're not like staying there. You're just going there because you can squeeze out an additional 100 gold. And it's all of those little like squeezes of additional 100 gold per wave that's coming or whatever, additional 50 gold, or getting camps or whatever. Like, that adds up, and that's what ends up leading to you getting, let's say, 500 to 1500 more gold by the time Elder spawns or Baron spawns. And that's a lot of times the difference between getting your 3rd item or your 4th item, or like whatever level of items you're on during a fight. So we need to be squeezing out that additional gold, and we need to be understanding better when the lane's going well. Use our pressure to go to other parts of the map. Don't just stay put in one part of the map forever. You do need to push it out first, though, and you're aware of that. Like, you can't just walk to top lane randomly, push out the lane, then you can reset, then you can go top. Or a lot of times it's not that I want to go mid, by the way. A lot of times I like making the play top when I'm really trying to snowball. The times where I go mid is when I'm just trying to either get mid prio for an objective, or I just want to get a little bit of additional gold and then go right back to bot. But a lot of times, like when you're trying to like hard break open the game, it's like push the bot wave, we get the bot turret, we reset, then we go top. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, and then the other thing is like win behind. Do not let the game progress in the same way it's been going. Staying even numbers across the map. So like, again, this kind of relates to the same point of you staying bot all the time and just playing normal fights, but it also relates to the thing we talked about where you went to that dragon down 3k gold when it doesn't really do anything for you, and if the enemy showed up, it'd be very dangerous, where you could have just gone topside instead. So it's not only about the waves, but it's also like use objectives as a distraction, basically. Because then you can use them again. Like, the enemy are going to go dragon, probably. You can use that time to go topside, make a big play there. Yeah, so again, as it relates to, there's 3 main points of ADC. You're really good at getting gold. Your lane phase is the biggest problem, which really I just need you on the wave earlier, and I need you having better awareness of who can kill you. Like Leona, a lot of times you kind of just got caught by her very often, so being more aware of that in lane. And then team fighting, keeping track of spells a bit better. Like again, really in the Xayah game when you're getting caught by Leona, when it shouldn't really be possible for her to get on you. Yeah, I mean, those are really the main things that we talked about. Do you have other questions or things we talked about? I can write down the champion pick stuff after, but apart from that, do you have any other things?
No, probably just a small. Sometimes I've noticed and just want to ask a question regarding itemizations. What would be the proper,
Yeah.
based on what should I adjust my itemizations?
I mean, it obviously depends on the champions. You're playing mostly crit champions, so yeah, I mean, maybe it's easier to talk each champion. Are you still planning on playing all 5 of those champions, or are you planning on narrowing it down at all, or is it just like still gonna be?
Oh, probably no. 100% Lucian, Xayah, Ezreal will stay as a main tree. So let's focus on those three as a
Okay.
example with a building.
So I will just write the basic build stuff. So Xayah, basically, I would say go, and then we'll write the situational stuff after. I'll write like so attack speed boots, PT. She's very good with attack speed, so I definitely prefer those over Gluttonous Greaves. Plus, you have lifesteal from PT. Then I would go Magnetic, Navori, Immortal. That's like typical. You can switch Navori second if you want. That's up to you. And then defensive. You know what defensive items like, right? Like Wits and GA stuff, or do you?
Yes. I know them.
And here we'll write enchant after this. So honestly, one thing I like about this champ is you don't really need actual situational items. BT's already broken on you, and BT. Oh, I just somehow switched the letters. BT's already really broken on you, and normally, like, if you're not a Bloodthirster champion, Bloodthirster becomes a situational item. You go when the enemy have really dangerous champs. Magnetic gives you attack speed, pretty much useful every game. Navori is good into tanks, but also just as well in the squishies. And then Mortal is good into tanks and gives you anti-heal. So I actually, like, I really don't think there's anything situational you're actually going to go on Xayah. Do you have any items you're going sometimes on Xayah that are different, or?
No. Just wanted to know. Basically, they have the same builds for her on the chair a lot. The main thing was, I think, Ezreal, probably, because I see sometimes I go with the slow, what was the
Iceborne
name of
Gauntlet,
the
yeah.
armor penetration, rather than the
Oh, you mean
Mortal?
Cerilda's?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean Manamune, and then, I mean, I go Gluttonous Greaves. I don't know how to spell Gluttonous, but that Manamune. And then I assume you know when to go Trinity versus Iceborne, or no?
No.
Do you know
So
what
just
Iceborne
to
Gauntlet
clarify.
is? I assume.
Yeah, Iceborne is
Okay.
the slowing gauntlet, basically.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of armor, and it's a Sheen item, so it's
It's for
basically,
AD, probably.
yeah, it's basically when they have like full AD. So I'll write that in parentheses. So default to Trinity, but if lots of AD assassins, then go Iceborne. So like the reason this is really good is because say they have Zed, and then maybe they also have like Talon jungle or something. Like they just can't kill you, and then they have an ADC. It's so hard to kill you. You basically can't die. You're gonna have less damage, but you scale absolutely insanely on like 3-4 items. And then so yeah, does that make sense with that item?
Yeah. Also, one more question regarding this one. So I tried once to go Manamune a couple of times actually. Manamune into Essence. Is it? Could it work this way as well?
I mean, you're not that auto attack based, so doing that over Trinity means you have to get worse stats because it gives you a lot worse stats besides the crit. So the only time you would do it if you're trying to do some weird full crit build, like where you actually get more value from the crit. But yeah, I don't really recommend it. It's not like Troll because now it's a Sheen item, it can work. But no, I mean, I don't see any time that Trinity or Iceborne would be worse than Essence Reaver.
Okay. And final one for the Ezreal pick is basically, is it smart to go Conqueror or
Or
this
Empowerment.
thing with the
Yeah.
yes.
So for Ezreal, Empowerment, I can't spell, Jesus Christ, whatever. Empowerment is better in lane and better against squishies because it takes less time to stack and it's more like for one-shotting. Conk is better into tanks and out of lane. Because like the thing you're doing with Conk is basically you're gonna play fights and your goal is just to stack it, and then you're also trying to stack your passive. So it's like I play the fight, there's tanks, I can easily hit them, I Q them, maybe I W, whatever, and now my passive stacked up and my Conqueror is starting to get stacked, so then I'm like really strong as the fight plays out. So if you think you're gonna have longer fights into tanks and whatnot, you can go Conqueror. And Empowerment, you're gonna do better in lane because it's just gonna help you more early, and it's easier to stack, so it's better for like bursting squishies basically.
Okay, makes sense.
And then the rest of the build, do you have questions about? Like I would
No,
usually
no.
go Cyrilda third, and then I go Riftmaker slash Crown, and then usually GA slash Maw. But do you have any questions about any of that, or?
No, makes sense.
Okay. And Lucian, I mean, I'm assuming you're doing Essence Reaver, Magnetic, Mortal, and like IE or
Yes.
something.
Yes, basically.
Yeah. So there's probably not much to say there. Do you want me to write anything about when those champions are played, or?
Yeah, probably just when should I pick which one works
Yeah,
the best.
Xayah is good with, or is good again. It's more against dive comps. Pretty straightforward. Ezreal struggles a bit into tanks, better into squishy champs, and better with poke supports like Nami. I don't know why I said Nami, not Karma, but yeah, Karma, Dyra, Lux, Nami. Like I just like with any of these types of things. Ezreal is fine with tanks though. So like it's fine with tanks if enemy have comp you need to kites. He is a good pick. So like champs you might need to kite would be Jarvan, because like he ults you, you want to get out. Olaf, Mundo, like all these champions. Mundo's a little hard to kill for you, but these types of champs are like they're either running at you or you need a dash to get out of like the Jarvan ult. So those types of champs is also when we like picking Ezreal, whereas Xayah again is like she doesn't have a dash, so she's not as like able to kite these. I mean, she's decent at kiting because she has the W speed, but it's not as great. Do you have questions on Ezreal at all with anything I said, or?
No.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And then Lucian, good into low range scaling champs like Trist, Kaisa, Bane. I hate autocorrect. Dude, it's literally so annoying. Like it will not let me type. These aren't real words, so it makes sense. You know, League of Legends terms aren't real words. Yes. But yeah, so good into those types of champs, and then Lucian, good with aggressive engage supports, and with certain enchanters like Nami and Melio, because the Melio range is pretty broken, and Nami I think is pretty obvious. So yeah, I mean, to basically, Xayah is a very, very safe blind pick and very good into tanks and dive. Ezreal is good when they're squishier, when you have a lot of poke. Lucian's good when you want to play something to all in, especially into these like late game champs that aren't as strong. But Lucian struggles into high range. Xayah struggles into high range. So Ezreal, if they have range and you feel like you can't deal with it, is good. But I don't really mind playing Xayah into high range champs, but it's definitely like her worst matchup. Like Caitlyn counters Xayah and Lucian, so that's the only problem, is that Caitlyn does counter 2-year champs pretty hard, but Caitlyn's not that strong right now, and people are really shit at Caitlyn, so I think it's honestly fine. Do you have questions about any of that?
No, basically that was actually my next, my last question would be if there was like a potential champion that could counter the three of the.
Not all three, because Ezreal's quite good into Caitlyn, and the difference is again like Ezreal, he's going to be good into high range, and Ezreal is pretty good always. Whereas Lucian and Xayah, they'll struggle in the high range, which is really like going to be Caitlyn and Ashe, especially. But I don't think you'll actually have a problem with those champs, and most of the time it's still fine. So.
And just a question, against Lucian, which would be the more logical option, Xayah or Ezreal?
I really like Xayah into Lucian because he wants to go in, you know, like so Xayah is able to play really well into that. But Ezreal has high range and poke, and like really both are fine. But I would prefer Xayah overall. But if you had, say, a Karma, you know, you'd still lock in the Ezreal.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, fine. Thank you.
Okay. Then I will send you these notes, and I'll see you later. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, man.